Baby, I don't know if y'all can even see me, but I can see you when you're not smiling because your guides tell on you, honey. So before you receive this reading today, give me a smile, darling, even if it's for half a moment. Hey, girl. Hello, my beautiful Virgo. How are you doing, darling? My name is SimplyVelca, and today we're going to be getting into your weekly tarot reading. Today, Virgo, I also did your monthly. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link over around here, honey. But if you enjoy this tarot reading today, this weekly reading, Virgo, be sure to let me know in the comments below, darling, which cards resonate with you and how they do, because that is how I keep up with y'all, is through the comments. Of course, as well, Virgo, if you do enjoy this tarot reading today, or you just enjoy my vibe, I would really appreciate it if you were to give this video a like and subscribe, because it does help me out a lot, and I always appreciate it when you guys take that extra step to do that for me. Remember, though, that I'm just a man reading some tarot cards to you, honey. You know your situation better than I ever possibly could, so take the cards that resonate, leave what doesn't, because I'm not going to be offended by it whatsoever. I believe tarot cards are just here to give you some food for thought, Virgo, perspective to consider, darling. Never making the choices in your life, Virgo, because it's your life to live, not mine and not these tarot cards. So enough of that babbling, honey. Let's just jump into your weekly tarot reading today, Virgo. Let's see what's going on with you. Let's get the tea. Let's get the gossip, if there's any gossip, darling. These cards are coming out so viciously, so fiercely, honey. Let's get into this, Virgo. I'm pumped. Get pumped. So ridiculous. We have the Page of Wands that came forward for you, Virgo, as well as the Nine of Pentacles. And then for your third card, we have the Nine of Wands. I kind of feel like normally I don't always do this when it comes to tarot like this, but I do feel called to tell you guys, Virgo, to look up the number 9 for numerology, because I do feel as if 9 is really calling out to you, because I just keep seeing the number 9 just being like, and it being shown in my face. So I recommend looking up for numerology in that. So let's break this down, right? Page of Wands here, darling. This is all about stepping into new energy, new opportunities as well. Just new energy in general, right? Because that's what pages represent. You know, think about pages as like you're opening the book to a new page, right? You're turning the page to something new, right? The Nine of Pentacles, this is dealings with like your own, very good for self-employment, right? And this is in terms of like how you take care of yourself, right? And just kind of listening to your own intuition and going with what feels right to you. And then the Nine of Wands is that wounded warrior, darling, right? So this is the message of where it's like, Virgo, you are persevering even through all the hardships, right? I do feel as if this is something that you like. I just heard reward. So I want to say, Virgo, for those that have been putting in the work, those that have been trying to really manifest something in their life, right? And I always say something like, because every Virgo is going to be creating, like, their focus is something different. So I always like to say, whatever your objective has been that you've been putting a lot of energy into, I do just get this sense of reward, right? And the reason why I say that you've been personally putting into is that the Nine of Wands and the Pentacles is a representation of like you putting in the work, right? So this isn't just like a sense of where what you'll see in some tarot readings, right? And I say some, like, it's not shade. It's like I've said it as well in some tarot readings where it's like sometimes opportunities are presented to you through divine, where it's just like sets you up personally, right? But in this sense, this is like a week of where the hard work that you've been putting in is going to pay off. So it's almost as if as things come into fruition for you, Virgo, you're going to be at this place of being like, yeah, of course that makes sense. Of course I'm going to be getting this promotion. Of course this person's going to be receiving me well. Of course things are panning out in such a way because you've been putting in the work. You've been really trying to create a life for yourself. I do feel as if, Virgo, for many of you guys, this is like you've been really putting in the work to really catch a break with something, right? Catching a break. How would I use this as an analogy, right? And so let's just say for tarot readings, for example, right? If I was a Virgo and I was just like, all right, well, let me just keep on pumping out content. Let me keep on pumping out tarot readings. You know, right now, maybe I'm not getting the numbers that I feel as if it could reflect, but still persevering, right? If I was a Virgo, and then I would say, if this was my reading, I'd take this and be like, oh, okay, if I continue on in this pattern, if I continue on with this perseverance, my videos something's going to happen where the videos start getting seen more and what have you, right? I hope this doesn't come off as self-centered, Virgo. I just am very much so analogy based. And so you replace tarot reading with insert whatever it is, the narrative or the objective that it is that you've been working on personally, Virgo, because it doesn't really matter. It's like, this is just all about you, Virgo, quite literally. And so, yeah, just continue on with what it is that you're doing. You're definitely going to be rewarded for this hard work, for this perseverance that you've been exuding, Virgo. So I really celebrate you on that. We had the Page of Pentacles coming in under the Page of Wands. Fabulous. So really enhancing this message, Virgo, of something being offered to you. I do feel as if this opportunity with this Page of Wands here, this new opportunity is coming in as like an offer of some sort. And so while I do say that you are putting in the hard work to create this for yourself, Virgo, this opportunity, that you catching this break, comes in the shape of something being offered to you. So I would say, just off the bat, before you even pull any more clarifiers, Virgo, take this as a sign to be as seen as possible. Obviously, it's going to be different for each Virgo, but if your objective is related to something where someone else could like set you up, right? Maybe if you're trying to be a model or trying to have your book be published, right? Maybe you'll run into like a publisher that scouts out your work or scouts out your photos, you know, whatever that is. Because I do feel as if like someone sees the work that you've been doing, or like the work that you've been doing is just perceived by others in the sense of being like, you know what, I want a little piece of that. Don't mind me, I was like looking down because I saw like a flashing light and I was like, girl, what is like flashing down on the side here, honey? So yeah, make yourself as available as possible, Virgo, this week. Just as a suggestion, I'm not saying that you guys are unapproachable, right? I just want to tell you guys to make it your goal, if you are wanting to really catch this break sooner, make it your goal to be as reachable as possible, if that makes sense, right? So if, again, back to my analogy of tarot, I would see this and be like, all right, let me put even more content out. Let me really push my emails, my social medias, and be more engaging with people so the right person is able to communicate with me. Does that make sense, Virgo? Then we have, girl, you can't make this up, the Page of Cups. I swear to God, if we get the Page of Swords in this reading as well, honey, my gosh. And so Page of Cups coming in right after. This is, again, girl, I don't want to pick this up, but I need to. Where did this card go, honey? Girl. Hello? I'm so sorry, Virgo. Oh, here it is. Girl, it went flying. So let me continue on with this message, Virgo. Emperor card came out. Okay, I'm glad I did pull this out. So it makes so much sense now. So with the Page of Cups, again, this is a sign of new opportunity coming in. It does also, just in the definition, Virgo, talk about the deepening of current things. So I do feel as if it's talking about something deepening. I feel as if this is only deepening through like a new change of approach, right? So let's just say, for example, like a person, right? Maybe you've been trying to work things out with a person, and you guys are like starting this connection fresh, this relationship fresh, platonic, romantic, because relationships can be friendships, family, and all that, Virgo. I feel as if this is the same energy, you're going about this in a different way. And so I would really want to focus in, though, for the majority of you guys, because of these 3 pages, I don't really even feel called to feeding into the analogies of like current things. Right? I do, or rather, yeah, current things. I do really feel as if like these share the similarity of things being offered, Virgo. So really, like, a person plays a pivotal role in terms of like changing your life in some way, whether it's just through an offer or what have you. Excuse me. And then this Emperor card, I struggled so much to be getting for you, honey, is under the 9 of Wands. Excuse me, Virgo. And so the Emperor card, it makes so much sense because the Emperor is all about being proactive, right? The Emperor doesn't wait for opportunity to come. The Emperor creates that opportunity for themselves, Virgo. And so I feel like that's what it is that you're exuding at this time, is the Emperor. Quite literally, this is a sense of like the efforts, the energy, the work that you've been putting into this situation, into this objective, is again going to be paying off. It's building up to be something fabulous for you, darling. And this isn't something that just happens overnight, or that happened overnight. The Sun card is in the back of the deck, by the way. So fabulous. So I like this a lot. We'll get into this in a moment. But yeah, the emperor creates that opportunity for themselves. The emperor, it's through the hard work, and that's why it's under the Nine of Wands. It's the wounded warrior. So it's like you've been doing the trials and tribulations, Virgo, to have this come into fruition. That's why I say again, like even though it doesn't, I don't want this to come off as you sounding ungrateful, but it's like once this opportunity comes, while you're going to be grateful and happy and be like, oh yes, darling, right? This all comes because of your hard work. This comes through your perseverance, Virgo. So for those that need to hear this message, Virgo, just quite literally saying, like, don't give up, darling. Do not give up, because quite literally you may have been in this place. Five of Pentacles coming in here. You have been in this place of just being like, oh, is this even meant for me? Right? You guys may have been in your head and be like, oh, is this just not my calling? Or what have you, just because you haven't been reaping the benefits, right? Or like enjoying being able to get any fruits of your labor, darling, no matter how much labor you've been putting in, Virgo. But the hard work that you've been putting in is not without, it's not being noticed, if that makes sense. It's being noticed, and it actually, like, what it is that you're building up is like an entire empire, right? That's why the emperor steps forward, is like you're building up something massive, right? It's going to set you up for the long term, whether this is in relationship or what have you, darling. This is something that's not going to be like that instant gratification and just like, just like having like a good like week or what have you. This is really setting up for the rest of your future. And that's why you've been putting in so much work for this, of course. And I like having the sun here as well because of this, just topping off this energy for you, Virgo, because this is like happy times are coming, right? Happy times are definitely coming. The sun card is the best card in the deck, personally, I think, because this is all just encompassing of abundance, all encompassing of things finally being put to light, putting a spotlight on the hard work that you've been putting in. Just the clouds, things clearing up in your life. You're not like, it's like removing the haze, removing the fog. If some of you guys don't know what, I just remember in Florida, for me, when I lived in Florida as a kid, there'd always be like thick fog during certain time periods. And so the fog would, you would have really thick fog. And then as the sun comes out, it clears away the fog and everything starts making sense, right? Things that you weren't seeing beforehand come to light. Like you start realizing why it is that you've been going through all these trials and tribulations as like the wounded warrior, right? You realize all these things because it was setting you up for something very fabulous, darling. Very, very fabulous. And so Ace of Swords coming in here, that I'm going to be topping off this energy with, it's very fabulous as well. Again, Virgo, did I call you guys Taurus earlier? I hope I didn't. I just did Taurus's reading earlier, so that's why I said that if I did. So I do apologize, Virgo. But this is really a situation of where it's like, I want you to think of the Ace of Swords as a card, Virgo, of where it's like right before you leave, walk out the door, you grab your sword and you go forward and you will remain victorious, darling. This is a situation of where it's like all you have to do, Virgo, is just keep going forward, and the abundance, the opportunity comes forward towards you. You don't have to change anything up in your life, Virgo. Just keep doing what it is that you've been doing. I don't know why I'm doing this right now. It's like I'm playing the drums, darling. Keep doing what it is that you've been doing, Virgo, because it's going to pay off. The fog is going to be lifted soon. The sun's going to be coming out for you guys, Virgo. So have no fear, darling. Have no fear. So now, Virgo, let's get into some of your spirit guide messages, darling. Let's see what spirit guide messages. Why did I put all these in here? I do not want... I apologize, Virgo. I am a mess for you guys' reading. I'm going to give these to her over there. Let's see your advice from your spirit guides this week, Virgo. Four Swords. I was about to show you guys, but I wasn't sure if I saw it properly. Four Swords coming in here, with the Strength card coming in here. Taurus got this as well. Strength card has been popping up for a lot of Zodiac signs recently, so I really do... It's interesting. And then, girl, you got all the pages, darling. You guys are getting all the pages, Virgo, which is fabulous, darling. I mean, of all the suits to be getting, right, you want that one because all the pages are arguably good cards in my opinion. So the advice from your spirit guides quite literally is where, again, I mean, I feel like Strength card is the representation of perseverance, don't you think? Perseverance through this pain. That's why the Three of Swords is in the back of the deck, Virgo. But this is a situation of where kind of just reaffirming the messages that I already said before. So I guess I'll just I love being good at my job when I relay intuitive messages that already like spirit kind of confirms for me, darling. But really just stay the course, Virgo. That's really all that you're getting from this, is where you're being asked to stay the course because you're going into a new journey entirely. Something I do want to point out, which is really also amplifying another message that I was saying before. I hope this is not coming off as braggadocious, because it's like, girl, like, whatever. But I want to point out the synchronicities, Virgo, just for your own receptivity, is that the Page of Swords is usually a card of like communication, right? Usually some tarot readers will also see this in social dynamics of where it's like someone's watching another person, right? So quite literally, if you look at this message, you take each card individually and then you combine it as a puzzle, like I see tarot. Four of Swords is the card of where it's just like you continue doing what it is that you're doing at complete peace, because you know what it is that you're doing is going to pay off, Virgo, through your perseverance, through this strength card, where it's just like you go through the trials and tribulations, you go through the struggles, and you continue with the course, because Page of Swords, someone is watching you and going to communicate with you, and just be based off of the cards that we had before with that Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles. I do feel like some offer is coming forward. Did we get Page of Wands for you? Yeah, we did get Page of Wands, right? Just confirming before yeah, we got Page of Wands. So you got all the pages, Virgo. So quite literally, again, as I was saying, pages represents new energy. You guys are really about to step into a whole new chapter, Virgo. And so what I want to also keep in mind and remind you guys, Virgo, is that because these are weekly readings, like this is the path that you're on. This doesn't necessarily mean that this week you're gonna immediately have the opportunity offered to you. This is kind of just like a push for you, Virgo, and be like, if you continue down this path, this week you're gonna start seeing signs. Like you're gonna start seeing it's gonna be like a domino effect, I feel, for you, where it's just like maybe this week the ball starts getting going, but then as it progresses each week, it's just built up more and more, right? So I really like that a lot for you, Virgo. So now let's get into, darling, your how people are perceiving you at this time, Virgo. That's what I'm most interested in at this time, to see how people are perceiving you. So how this is going to work, Virgo, is we're going to be just getting into a little bit on the detail of what person, like the kind of vibe that I'm getting from this person. It's not going to meant to resonate with everybody, right? Because I feel like this portion is meant to reach specific people. But this could be in regards to twin flames, soulmates, right? Relationships of the romantic or platonic kind, work, family, darling. You fill in the details in that regard, right? I'm just here to be the messenger. So let's see. We have the Chariot card coming in here. I believe this is Sagittarius energy. If it's not, I associate this with Sagittarius personally, but that has no meaning. Personally, I guess I just like to point that out. Summon of Wands here. Definitely a card of watching, Virgo. And then the Hanged Man coming in as well. So Virgo, someone is definitely watching you. Someone is definitely watching you, and I do feel as if they're like building up the courage to reach out to you. I feel like this is actually not an energy that you communicated with, or if you have communicated with them, you haven't for some time now. It would make sense if you have communicated on some level, because it feels almost as if, Virgo, this person saw you, maybe not necessarily like a bad light, darling, but just in a sense of where like you've grown so much since the last time that they've perceived you, right? Or when you first engaged with them, like you're just a completely different person. And so now, because of this Hanged Man, I feel almost as if like they're watching you, they're seeing like where it is that you're going, seeing you becoming bossed up, and they're seeing this sense of like just how you're changing, Virgo. And so I wouldn't be surprised if someone from your past, if this is associated with someone in your past, because you would have an idea of who this would be, reaching out to you. Or if this isn't, this is someone completely new, again, as I was talking about, coming in to scout you or bring in some type of offer. Right? So what are their intentions? Just to confirm. Knight of Pentacles. So this is going to be a build-up process, right? This shows to me of where it's just like they start out slow, where it comes to communications involved, or like building up the courage to reach out to you. But there is going to come a point to where it's like something that you do or something that they finally see in you that really like gets the ball going for them, Virgo, to be like, all right, it's time for me to reach out to Virgo. And so I want to be in like, really just make yourself available, Virgo. Make yourself available. Obviously, if it's in regards to like an ex, honey, right? Free will, darling, do what you need to do, because what have you, right? But I really do feel like for many of you Virgos, it's going to be a very rewarding process for you guys to, for you guys to just make yourself available, because there's definitely eyes on you at this time, wanting to come in with offers or just opportunity or what have you, whatever it is that is going to be appropriate for your life. But yeah, Virgo, that's the weekly tarot reading that I have for you. Remember to check out your monthly tarot reading if you haven't already for September. Yours is pretty good, actually. If you enjoyed this tarot reading today, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like and subscribe. And also, if you would like to book a private personal reading with me, honey, my website's linked down below, simplyvelca.com. Next to my social medias, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all that just being Simply Velca, honey. And yeah, I will connect with you guys, Virgo, sometime in the near future, hopefully. I love you so much. Bye.